Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing my 4-year account overview celebrating 4 years of Genshin Impact. I'll be taking a look at my overall account and seeing how it progressed over the past 4 years. We're going to take a look at how my characters that I have evolved or improved over the past 4 years. I'm just going to go straight down the line, just see what improvements I had, like with the past characters like Fontaine, Mondstadt, and Liyue. First, let's start with Venti. I didn't really care about building him that much because I just put Vivi on him and just gave him elegy and just let him like do his thing. Bennett, I just have him on 4 Priest Noblesse on Bennett, and then I just gave him Favonius. Next, Shinwen, my second all-time favorite character. I have her signature, Crane's Echoing Call. I have her on 2-piece attack, 2-piece Anemo, because there really isn't a 4-piece set that kind of like makes her a better TPS than like a 2-piece. Because I have her C6, and her C6 makes her deal more damage on her punch that she does from her elemental skill. There isn't really a set that kind of like prioritizes plunging. So for her artifacts, I kind of gave her like the highest crit stats possible, and also still be on set as well. Obviously she's C6, she's triple crowned. I just gave her basically everything. Her stats is 70, 172. And yeah, that's my Shinwen. Zhongli, simple build. I have him on Favonius, 4-piece tenacity, just mainly, even though some of them have good crit stats, just mainly gave him triple HP. I have him at C2, and I crowned his skill in burst, mainly because I just really like him as a character. He has almost 44,000 HP, but I mainly prioritize in giving him a crap ton of ER because I definitely want to spam his burst all the time. Next, Kazuha, kind of like similar to Venti. I gave him like an elemental mastery sword, I gave him 4-piece Vivi. I have him at C2 so I can use his elemental skill twice, and all of his skills are level 8 because I really like him as a character. Next, Zhao. Zhao's build was kind of interesting in terms of like how it developed in the past year, because I definitely gotten a very good Vermilion set, but because of the stats I gotten all those pieces, kind of like made me use Staff of Homa instead of Wing Spear, because just simply the stats that I gotten from the artifacts. For example, like this one, I have a lot of crit rate, a fair amount of crit rate, less crit rate by a crap ton of crit damage, which I was very happy for. This one, I think is one of my best goblets I have, and it's on Nemo main stat. And then the circlet, not really as much, but like still very good. But as you can see, I'm using a crit damage circlet, mainly because I just have so much crit rate. And then like if I were to use Wing Spear, it just gives me 101, 183. But because I want to mainly prioritize getting a lot more crit damage, it's just that it's hard to like using his signature weapon, because I just have so much crit rate. It's like hard to go back to that. Whereas my previous build, I did have a fair amount of crit damage, but not as much CV value on those to justify running those pieces compared to the pieces that I have now. He is C6, and he is also triple crown, and his overall stats is 79 and 249. Yola didn't really have any improvement in her build. She's still very much the same. Her signature weapon, I first thought it was like a 5-step, but no, this is a Noblesse Feather. These are her stats on her artifacts. I have her C6, have her almost triple crowned. Kind of thought about, but like, nah. Her overall stats is 71 and 189. Ganyu, have her C6, have her signature weapon at R5. This was by accident. I didn't actually R5 her weapon intentionally. I just got it by just pulling the weapon banner a lot of times. Her artifacts is like, I think one of my best 4-piece sets that I have in terms of CV value. Like for example, her flower, her feather, very good crit ratio, her sands. The only thing about this build is that I wish it was attack percentage instead of elemental mastery, but nonetheless, very good CV value. Her goblet, one of the best that I have. I don't think it's the best, unless I might be lying. No, this is definitely, so before I had her on this goblet, if I were to switch it to this one, this is definitely one, if not my best goblets in terms of CV value. And then her circlet does have a pretty good crit rate ratio. I have her C6 and I have her normal attack crown because I wanted to min-max her charge attack damage, and her overall stats is 7215. Raiden, she has R5 engulfing, she's on 4-piece emblem, these are her pieces. Yeah, it was this one. PC6, triple crowned, with her overall ratio being 71, 149, and 253. Alhaitham has actually gotten a pretty nice upgrade. I have his signature at R1, his 4-piece is gilded. These are their stats. This one was the big upgrade that I had because previously I had, I believe this one, mainly because I wanted more crit damage, but because this one had more CV, I ended up using this one. Sands, Goblet, and Circlet. I think one of my all-time best crit rate circlets because of the amount of crit damage that it has. I have him at C6 and I have him at triple crown. His overall stats is 74, 254. Next, Nahida. Simple build. I have her signature, but later down the line, I think she was on a banner of a character that I was pulling for, where I pulled for the weapon, but I lost to 50-50 and got her signature instead. But I mainly use sacrificial fragments on her for the most part. I have her on 4-piece Deepwood, but mainly just prioritizing Elemental Mastery. Moving on to my boy Ayato. I don't think he got that much improvement. I think he's still very much the same with his signature. 4-piece Echoes. These are his pieces. Actually, no, wait. This piece actually upgraded because it actually gave me a lot more CV value than the other one that I had, which was this one. Even though some may choose this one because of the amount of crit damage that it provides, it's just like I personally value CV over, in terms of like overall value, into just one singular stat, depending on like the case of like the balance between all the substats. His Goblet and his Circlet, one of my best crit damage circlets with 17 crit rate. I have him at C6 and I have him at triple crown with his overall ratio being 89 crit rate and 229 crit damage. Yalan didn't have much improvement at all. Signature, 4-piece emblem, and I didn't really pull any cons for her. And then I crowned her Elemental Burst. Tartaglia, one of my favorite characters, have his signature Polar Star. And his build is actually pretty interesting because recently I kind of farmed for this set and I actually gotten some pretty good pieces, like this one, 4 rolls in the crit damage. This one has good rolls in the crit. The only thing I'm missing is a very good Sands from that set. So I'm kind of like waiting to farm for a good attack set that I can also farm in the strongbox as well for that specific set. His Goblet, I'm using this one. I think it's one of my best Hydro Goblets actually. And then the Circlet is actually not that great, but just to fulfill the 4-piece effect on this set, I'm kind of just using it. I mean, the ER is kind of nice. I have him at C6 and I have him at triple crowned. His ratio, if I were to get a good attack stance, will be 72-201. D-Luke. Now, the story with D-Luke, compared to like my other account reviews I did in the past, is that I have him on Redhorn because mainly I just love this Claymore. I think it's one of the coolest, sickest Claymores out in the entire game. His artifact is on 4-piece Crimson, and like the amount of stats I have on this set is just beyond crazy. Actually kind of surprising that it's combined together is one of my most highest CV value 4-piece sets that I have. If I were to take the one I have on Shinwon because I love her so much and put it on D-Luke, his stats would be this flower, this feather, this Sands, which I don't know if this is my best. I think it is because this is a 5-roll into crit, this Goblet, and this Circlet. I have him at C6. I have him at this ratio. Didn't really crown him at all, but his overall ratio would be 74 crit rate and 299.9 crit damage. And when I got that crazy Sands, I thought, compared with all the artifacts that I had, I thought, oh man, I was actually done. I thought I was gonna finally fulfill the 300 crit damage D-Luke build that I have been dreaming of finally finishing, and just seeing the 0.9 just makes me still very happy. But like the fact that like it's 0.1 off, I was kind of sad about that. Would I ever go back and trying to grind at least a piece that it's like 0.1 higher? Because there's no way I'm replacing this flower. This flower is like god tier. I don't know if I'll ever go back and try to get that crispy good 300 crit damage, but I don't know. That's my build on D-Luke. I'm very happy about that. Rosaria kind of gave her like a pretty good build with like 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Cryo. Have her on C6. I did crown her burst because I very much love her character. Her overall stats is 67, 237, and 132. Should be higher crit rate if I were to give her the goblet that I switched with Ganyu, because I want to give her still very good ratio, but just need a little bit more crit rate to kind of elevate it. Toma, my boy, I did give him a strong DPS build, sort of, because I gave him Savahoma. But then when Dendro became a thing, I kind of made him a burning virgin kind of guy, where he's able to do that, where I put him on the 4-piece of this set, Flower of Paradise. And moving on to Navia, I have her signature. I have her on 2-piece elemental skill and 2-piece attack, because I originally wanted to farm for her 4-piece signature, but then like wasn't really interested anymore in farming that set because I didn't really care about the other healing sets. Her stats on her artifacts are actually pretty good. I have her on C2 with her overall stats being 57, 259, 131 ER. Shinha, I did ended up giving her like a sort of damage build, but then like ended up just giving her like her standard support build, which is just mainly prioritizing attack. Her weapon is deathmatch, mainly because I wanted to increase her attack, even though yes, I can give her an attack weapon, but I mainly wanted to like still be able to give her some sort of damage. Her stats is this, where this one has a lot of ER, this one has a lot of ER to crit, crit with attack, and attack with crit. I have her at C2. I did crown her elemental skill, and her overall stats is 86, 135. And then moving on to Clorin, one of the most recent characters to have come out in Genshin Impact. Her build on the newest set was actually pretty surprising that I kind of gotten pretty early. I have her signature, crit damage, and her artifacts, fragment or harmonic. When farming this set, I was kind of surprised at how good of pieces that I gotten. Like this one, very good crit ratio. This one also very good crit ratio. This one, I think I gotten it on like the second day of farming, which was very surprising because this is one of the hardest pieces to farm for a 4-piece set. Her goblet, one of my best electric goblets. And then her circlet, still pretty good with some rolls into attack and 2 rolls into crit. I was this close to C6ing her, but when I saw that she was not that unique in terms of like compared to like other characters, so I just ended up just keeping her at C1, also crowning her elemental skill and elemental burst, with her overall stats being 74 to 64. Novelette, I think didn't have any improvement until a little bit after his release, because I was mainly farming Monachose before his debut. But I do have his signature weapon. His 4-piece set is Monachose, and because I have him at C6, it changed the amount of stat priority that I had for him. This is his flower, a crap ton of crit damage, his feather, his sands, and interestingly, I have a better sands than this in terms of crit value, but when testing between the two, this actually deals more damage because of the flat HP that you get. So I just ended up sticking with this, because why would you stick with one that deals less damage compared to the other one? His goblet is Hydro. I wish I had a better goblet for Hydro, but like this is on set. And because I have him at C6, I gave him an HP circlet, because HP circlet is better if you have him at C6. And this one is my highest CV value in terms of HP circlets. Have him at C6, and I crowned his normal attack, and his overall stats is 35, 279, and 127, because he gets a lot of crit rate from the Monachose set. And that is my overview on my 4-year account of Genshin Impact. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, then definitely subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video to support it, and let me comment down below of what favorite thing or memory that you have experienced in the past 4 years of Genshin Impact. That's it for today, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.